Hey y'all, it's me, Dalton James. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, or this is your first time tuning in, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, you can tell I'm not in front of my backdrop, I'm just sitting on my bed and just talking to you guys. It's a little bit of a different video than what I normally do, and that's why it's not going on. It's not going up on my typical Wednesday posting, and the real reason for that is because, I don't know the right way to say it, not really exposing, but also kind of just I guess it's a story time. Yeah. So here is a story time video with me just kind of talking about an experience that I had that was not great. So this happened quite a long time ago. It was back in 2016. So back in 2016, I was spending Thanksgiving with my family, and my family would normally travel for Thanksgiving, and so we were down in St. Pete, Florida, spending Thanksgiving there, and everyone in my family was really excited. We had a lot of fun for Thanksgiving. You ugly. You and your daddy's son. And my mom knew, we are all very big Harry Potter fans, and so we had decided that we wanted to go to Universal Studios, to go to Harry Potter World and experience all that. And it was really because, I would say it was mainly because of me, because I really wanted to go, and my whole family got on board with that and kind of let us go from there, because I've always wanted to go to Harry Potter World, and I am not a huge amusement park person, but I love the experiences of them. So I really wanted to go, I really wanted to have fun and just kind of see everything that was there. Planning the trip, and we're getting there and we're really excited. It's the last day, so we're driving home literally that day. It was Saturday. It was a Saturday after Thanksgiving. We were we're gonna go to Universal, we're gonna go to Harry Potter World, and then we're gonna drive home. It was a 10-hour drive from Orlando to North Carolina. My brother's actually not there with us that year, so it's my mom, my dad, my older sister. Only two of her kids were there, and her husband wasn't there either. So my sister, her two kids that were there, and my younger sister as well. And so we're going, and I'm really excited, and I realized that I haven't been to a big park like this in a long time. Only before that, we went to Disneyland that when we lived on the West Coast in 2008. So it had been a long time, and I was really excited to go, and I was really pumped because I love Harry Potter, and it's just one of my favorite things to do and experience. And so we get to the park, we're having a lot of fun, we're walking around, we're seeing a lot of different things, and then it is time for us to ride the ride. And so at Universal, they have 2 Harry Potter rides within the entire park, plus lots of other Harry Potter things that you can go do. And I was really excited to do those. We're in the rides, we're going, we're having fun, and we're waiting in this line for the ride, and we're probably waiting for, I don't know, about an hour. Yeah, about an hour. And so, to be very clear, at this time in my life was I was at my heaviest. It was November of 2016. I was at least 320 pounds. It was after Thanksgiving, so I probably weighed a little bit more than that. Definitely a big kid. We're there at the park, and we're in this line, and we get to the ride, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so excited, we're about to get going. The people at that part of the ride were yeah, so just someone's gonna have to stay with the little kids, because the little kids can't go right now, because they were 2, I think, so they couldn't go on the rides. And we were okay, sounds good. And so the first time my parents sat out, it was gonna be my mom and dad sat with the kids, and then my sisters and I were getting on the ride. So it's me, my younger sister, and my older sister, I think, is what we're lined up. And we're and then we get to the ride, and so we get seated, the thing comes down, and it clicks in. It clicks twice, I think. It goes click, click. And I'm okay, yeah, I'm in here, we're good, we're getting ready to go. Finally getting to experience what I've been literally waiting for so long. When I tell you that Universal has always been something I've wanted to go to, because of the fact that since they built that Harry Potter world, the Wizarding World, whatever they call it, I have wanted to go. I'm a nerd, and I really wanted to go. And we get there, and we're sitting there, and I'm so excited. It was all my dreams coming true. And then this ride attendant comes over to check to be sure that everyone's good, checks my sister, goes down, checks my other sister, goes down to me, and he checks it, and he goes, And I was what? And he was like, "You're too fat for this." At first, I thought I didn't hear him right. And I was like, "What? Like, what'd you say?" And he goes, "You're too fat for this ride." And I'm telling you, like, it wasn't like, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir." Like, here's my customer service experience. Like, I would have been like, "Hey, I'm sorry, sir. Like, the seat's not buckled all the way. We're gonna have to see if we can do something else. If you don't mind just getting off the ride now, and we will like work with you in just a second." That's what I would have said. I wouldn't have said, "You're too fat for this ride," because he said that, and immediately my heart like dropped. Like, I'm telling you, like, my dreams of riding this ride were like crushed. Like, I'm literally thinking about, like, I want to cry right now, because it's like, it's such a shitty experience, because when you are fat, like, people treat you differently in like a lot of ways. And so also to think in my head, I was like, I was only 320 pounds. And there was also a lot bigger people that were, and even now I think back to it, like, there were people that were bigger than me getting onto this ride. And I was like, okay. So I like got up, and then my sisters were like really confused. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. And so I like got up out of the ride, and I like moved over, and then like they went on the ride. And so I was gonna like return back to where my parents were like waiting with the kids, but they're like, "No, we need you to come with us." So then I had to like, it wasn't the same guy who called me fat. I was with like a different ride attendant, and she like walked me around, and she like took me to this other thing where they like test to see if you can fit in front of like a bunch of people. And I was like, okay. So I sit in the chair, and it like pulls down, and the light that like has to flash green, it like never flashes green. And I'm sitting there, and I'm kind of confused, because like, okay, so I am like a rather like broad shouldered person, and my shoulders were like this in the ride. So like I already felt like it wasn't gonna work out. I was like, thanks, I guess, like that kind of sucks. Like, I was still like very much in shock because of the way that the guy like talked to me. Less of like, well, also because of the fact that like this is something I'd wanted to do for so long, and then now I can't do it, but also that the guy was so blatantly rude about all of it. And so I was like, okay, thanks, like, I guess. And we're like going, we're walking, and I'm just like, okay. So then they walk me back to where my parents are, and they're like, "Oh, you're like, how was it?" And I was like, "I didn't get to ride." And my dad was like, "What do you mean you didn't get to ride the ride?" I was like, "They told me I was too fat for it. Like, I couldn't ride it." They like literally told me like verbatim that. And my dad was like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then I felt bad, because then my mom got kind of upset, because my mom, like, she was the one who planned this. She was the one who was like really excited to take us there. It was like her own little surprise to like take us to Universal, and I felt like I was like also crushing her dreams, because like that's what she wanted, was us to have like a really fun family experience for this ride. And then I noticed that, and I just started bawling. Like, I was sitting there in this like waiting room with a bunch of kids, like bawling. And I remember just sitting there, and I like was in disbelief. Like, I could not. Well, one, I felt so shitty about myself, but I also felt so bad that like my mom had planned all this, and like I was like ruining it for the family. And then my sisters get back from the ride. They kind of ask me what was going on. I tell them I'm still crying. And then my parents go on the ride, and my dad's like trying to make me feel better. He was like, I mean, it was a really tight fit. Like, it didn't, like, he was like, I barely fit on it, and yada yada. And my dad's like, he's tall, and he's like broad like me, but he's never been like fat, you know? Like, so that sounds good. And then like one of the other tenants like noticed that like I'm like destroyed on, like, it's like 11 o'clock in the morning, and I think my whole day is over. Like, I just wanted to go to bed and cry. Like, I did not want to be there anymore. And so she noticed that, and so she gave me like a fast pass for the other Harry Potter ride. And I was like, okay. We walked there, and I'm like excited, because I'm like, oh, like maybe this will work, but I didn't want to go through that same experience, and they told me I was too fat. So I went to that place in that ride where they like let you test to see if you fit, and I didn't fit. And I was like, great. So both Universal rides that I'm trying to ride, I can't fit in. And at that point, I was done. Like, I didn't want to ruin it for the rest of my family, but I was done with the day, and I just kind of, like, ignored everything else. Like, anyone would go on a ride, they could go on a ride, I would say with the kids. Like, I literally took the kids on, like, kiddie rides with them, and, like, a Dumbo kind of ride at Universal. I don't even know what it was called. Honestly, one of the worst experiences I've ever had in my life. Like, I've had some pretty bad shit happen, but that definitely, I would leave that up there in the top 10 worst things, because it just felt so bad to do that, and so bad to experience that. It hurt because of like the way that guy had talked to me, but also it hurt because I knew that like I was too fat. Like, I knew that I was never going to be able to ride that ride unless if I did something about it. So that was the moment that I did realize it was time to lose weight. So I guess there is a silver lining in the shitty story, because I learned there. I was like, you know what, you're gonna lose weight, this is what you're gonna do, you need to go do that now. And that's what kind of got me on this whole trend and journey of like trying to lose weight. And it's been a long process. Like legitimately, I am now 255 pounds. So I've lost 65 pounds in about 2 years, which is a long process. You know, I am losing weight a little bit slower now that I've lost a good amount. But I'm not over. I'm not done. I'm going to keep losing weight. I'm going to ride those rides again. And hopefully by the time this video goes up, I am riding those rides again. I have a ticket to Universal. I have a ticket to Disney World, and I'm going. So you'll get an update on that, I guess. You know, you can follow me on my Instagram and see if I'm actually there and see if I actually get to ride it. And I bought those tickets and I was so excited for this new trip. And then the second I bought those tickets that night, I had a dream that I couldn't ride the ride. That like the whole experience happened to me again. And that sucked. No, those videos were like really depressing and really sad and not very like uplifting or happy. But the moral of the story is, number one, if you go through that experience, don't let it, it's not really easy to say because it ruined my whole day, but don't let it ruin your whole day. Let it motivate you to do something bigger and something better and something different. Let it motivate you to kind of make a change in your life, because it did motivate me to make a change in mine. But don't let that ruin you. Don't let that be like the standpoint in your life. Go back there. That little teeny bopper that used to work there probably doesn't work there anymore, but hopefully he doesn't because he was an asshole. But go there, show them that you are not the person that's going to be that too big person to ride this ride. Because honestly, being under 300 pounds, like where I'm at now, doesn't make any sense that the ride shouldn't work for me. Don't let those, so something like this happened to you, and I know it has. I know some people have been on this ride. I've literally talked to some of my friends, and their parents or themselves have been on this ride and they have pretty much the same exact experience that I did. A Universal work ride called one of my friend's parents fat, and it sucks. It really does suck, because this is someone that literally has no input into your life, and they're just trying to, I guess, do their job. At the same time, they're kind of bullying you, and that does suck. But I'm telling you, don't let that ruin you, let that motivate you, let that move you forward to becoming a better you. Well, as I said, I know this video was a lot different. If you did like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more story times of my traumatic experiences, definitely subscribe and hit that bell icon, because I'll probably be posting another one to kind of talk about other things that have happened to me. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.